Don't forget, ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone is a real simple way to show your support for what's going on here week after week. Hi, everyone. This is Nicole Rivera, and this is the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here in the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. Hi everyone, this is Nicole Rivera, and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. From the beginning of the Stop Writing Alone podcast and the community that we have on Facebook, I've been encouraging everyone that if you don't have a writing group, if you can't find a writing group, just go ahead and make one. And in that time, I think I've discussed like 3 major types of activities that one can do with their fellow writers, and one is the critique group, which I think everyone thinks about when they think about finding other writers. They say I need somebody to give me feedback on my work, so that one kind of feels like a no-brainer. Another activity is, of course, I'm always talking about writing prompts and how we could have a writing prompt meeting and meet with other writers, and not just do writing prompts on our own, but do them as a group, and the benefits that are there. And then, of course, I talk about the write-ins that we do pretty frequently in the Stop Writing Alone Facebook group, but I also do with my Staten Island Writers group, and that's, a time and a space where writers come together and just get their writing done. But what I discovered through the time of the first Happy Campers Club in April is that there are a couple of other ways that we could meet with writers that are really completely invaluable and could be writing groups of their own. So basically, what I'm saying here is I found 5 different ways that you could meet and share your experience with fellow writers that all have their own separate value. And in the Happy Campers Club, we do all 5. That's kind of like how we rotate our week. We go Monday through Friday, and every single day of the week has its own different themed and type of meeting. But it occurred to me in this past month as I was getting ready to do the June Happy Campers Club again, that any one of those meetings could be a community of its own. And I just want to run through the 5 different types of meetings because I want to let you know what they are, and I want you to think about what is the type of support and community that you need, because it's not the same for everyone. I've mentioned this before in the Stop Writing Alone group that I have different members show up for the write-ins and the writing prompt meetings and the critique meetings, because some writers need just the time and space to write for the write-ins. Some writers love the inspiration and the opportunity to work on writing prompts in a group. And then there's some writers that are like, I've done all that. I know my time and space to write on my own. I've got my own story idea that I'm really working on. What I need is critique. And of course, there are some writers that go through all 3 of those meetings, but There are others that don't. They just do one or the other. So here's what we do in the Happy Campers Club. And what I discovered is like, wait, there's a little bit more. And there's no reason why these other meetings couldn't be their own thing. And that is especially true for what happens on Mondays in the Happy Campers Club, which is the goal setting meeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer for free the goal setting worksheet that I gave to everybody in April. And what we did is each week we got together. We had this sheet. It's kind of like a little worksheet that has, goodness, am I going to count them wrong now? I think it's 5 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 5 boxes on it. And it was a kind of like a weekly goal setting and tracking sheet. And so on Monday, what we would do is we would come together and fill out the first box, which simply asks, like, what is your writing goal for the week? And we wanted to be really specific about it, and we wanted to, be realistic about it. We're talking about 1 week here. And while everybody came to the Campers Club with a monthly goal, we wanted to break that down. So each week we looked at, are we getting closer to that monthly goal? Are we setting goals that make sense for our week ahead? So on and so forth. And then the other 4 boxes on the sheet were to be completed as the week rolled on. And I'm just telling you what all these boxes are because you don't really need the worksheet. You could be doing this on any piece of paper. What we did throughout the week then was answer the following questions. What times worked for you? What places worked for you? What questions do you have for the group? And what blocked you? So what I mean by all this is we all have certain ideas about what's the best time for us to get our writing done. And, maybe we have a nice writing space set up, or we, like to go to a cafe or what have you. But when our weeks roll out, those places and those times might not work the way we had planned. So I want writers, and this has worked so well for me in the past, I was just sharing with everybody, is go through a week and write down what really worked. So you don't fill out these boxes until you've gotten stuff done. What time did you get some of your writing done? Where were you when you got that writing done? Because we're just gathering sort of information about how to get our goals done each week. The next box is what blocked you, and that is a hugely important thing to take note of. Every single week and every single day, this might be different. Maybe you go through a whole week where you didn't have any blocks. You were incredibly successful every time you set out to get your work done and you got it done. But sometimes it could be something as simple as, like, I was extremely tired. It was an emotional day. The news was too much. Or it could be something physical of, I couldn't get my space in order. Especially, we found in April, it was very interesting. Those of us that were home with family, people that aren't normally in the home and we're sharing space that, at certain points of the day were our own. That became a real issue, right? All of these different slight changes that weren't there before. So having that information was fantastic. And then there was a box, of course, to fill out if you had any questions for the group. And I did count wrong in the beginning. There were 6 boxes because the 6th box was the one that you could not fill out until the end of the week, and that was your achievement. And anyone that spends any time with me knows that I'm talking about every last little thing you accomplish. I want to see there. So very often, our achievement box at the end of the week does not match what our weekly goal was at the beginning of the week. You set out to do X, Y, or Z, and then as the week goes on, you realize, oh no, I actually need to do X, Y, and 1, 2, 3, and oh, what happened to Z? It wasn't important anymore, or there wasn't enough time, take a look at the rest of the sheet, see what happens. But take the time to celebrate the things that you did accomplish. Like every single week, this is hugely important. If we don't celebrate our achievements, then we end up beating ourselves up for all the things we don't accomplish. So this practice, this weekly practice of goal setting and really like being real about what helps us accomplish those goals and what gets in the way of us accomplishing those goals, and really taking note of our achievements could be the entirety of the writing group that you need, want, and could have. You could have a weekly accountability group and meet with this sole intention of we're going to set goals, and we're going to come back and talk about what we achieved and what we didn't achieve. We're going to discuss, what blocked us. We're going to ask each other for support in terms of like, have you gotten over this type of block? Do you have any ideas about how I can make a better space or find a better space to get my work done? I think you see what I'm talking about here, but this is a writing group in and of itself, a goal and accountability group that you could have. So that's what we do on Mondays. On Tuesdays, we do the write-ins, and I've discussed those at length, and I think many of you have been participating in them. There are plenty of writing groups where that is all they're about. The community, Shut Up and Write, which you could search on Google, and you probably have one nearby. That's all Shut Up and Write is about. You show up to a space, and now they're doing online virtual events. You bring your own writing project, and you shut up and write. So that's a write-in. So again, plenty of groups that's what they're there for. You could start your own, join one that's already around. So these are two different types of writing communities that you can create and be a part of. The third, what we did on Wednesdays, is like the most casual of meetings, and yet it is also completely valid, so important, perhaps, amplified by this time, how important it is. What we did on Wednesdays was a coffee chat and support group, and we literally just gathered together to discuss how our writing was going and ask if anybody had any ideas. And sometimes it wasn't even like I needed to ask anybody anything. I just needed people to hear, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm trying to write right now. This is where I'm struggling in my drafting or editing or what have you. Just to talk to other people that are in the trenches with you, understand the process. If a writer is actively working on their own writing project, they're just going to understand on a level that some of our other friends and family won't. And this is not that they don't love us and support us. It's just a different type of conversation when you're talking to somebody who understands the ups and downs of what you're going through. My Mastermind group, we discuss this all the time because we're all separately trying to do various types of online businesses and everything. And we have this Voxer group where we come in and we chat about, whatever, creating a landing page and the frustrations of doing that, or something wonky going on with our website. And we've often noted, like, wow, it is so nice to say something like that, like talking about a landing page, and not have to explain what a landing page is, because everybody's in it and knows it. So we could just get straight to the conversation. The same thing goes with writing. If you're struggling with a story and you're saying, well, I'm just like, the structure of this thing is killing me, and I'm just having issues figuring out where my plot holes are in the third act, it's just, let's get to the chat. The other thing that happens on Wednesday, because it's such a casual type thing, is this is where we really get to bond and become just great friends and support the community in general. So again, just like that goal setting meeting, this could be a meeting that you need. If you keep saying, like, I want to stop writing alone, but I'm not comfortable with doing a writing. I'm not comfortable with writing with people, and I don't want to do writing prompts. I'm not ready for critique. I feel like these other two meetings are things that every writer could sort of use in one way or another. Maybe goal setting isn't for you, but this Wednesday meeting is just a thing that you can find out there, right? There's all these different Facebook writing groups or Twitter chats where it is just about getting together with fellow writers and just talking about writing. And there's so much value in that. So, and then the other two meetings and things that we do in the Happy Campers Club are the two that, we've discussed before. Thursdays we talk about revision, and we started to organize ways to share our writing with each other to get critique and feedback. And then the Fridays was our fun day, where we would always have a writing prompt party. And also, because I am a learning nerd from my teacher days, one of the things that we would do on Fridays that's a little bit different is that I would ask if anybody had any sort of knowledge they wanted to share, and we had people just sharing their own experiences, like Tammy Brightweiser explained last week. We had kind of like a mini lesson from her on her whole 100 rejection process and how she goes through submissions. So, I mean, if you have a group of writers who are really working at stuff and everybody has a different skill set, there's no reason why you can't get together and just share your knowledge. And then Fridays were also about our writing prompts, just getting together, doing a writing prompt all together, timing it out, and at the end of the time, everybody bravely reads their work with one another, and that is always a lot of fun. So I was concerned about sharing all this with you this week because I was fearing that it would be a little bit redundant, because we've talked about a lot of these writing group designs before. But I really just wanted to underscore the differences that I saw throughout April, and how there are really a multitude of ways that you can be meeting with other writers, finding community, getting the support you need, growing as a writer. And if those three standbys that we're always talking about just don't fit with you, and you're still craving this opportunity to stop writing alone, I was like, I really need to share about this goal setting and the Wednesday simple support group. And if my explanations are not like clear enough, because I'm concerned that I'm in it and I'm not seeing the best way to really describe it. What I'm going to be doing next week in the Stop Writing Alone Facebook group, so that is, the actual name is like Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera. If you go on Facebook and you search Stop Writing Alone and you see just Stop Writing Alone, that's the page. But in the group where we can communicate with each other, you could put posts up just as simply as I do. Next week, so that's the last week of May. Let me check my calendar, see the date here. starting on May 25th, I am going to do one of these meetings per day. So on Monday, we are going to have a goal setting group. It's going to be a live Zoom call. And if you're subscribed to the Stop Writing Alone email newsletter, you will get the link in your inbox. But I will also share it right on the Facebook page. So we're going to do one of these goal setting meetings on Monday. We're going to have one write-in on Tuesday. We're going to have one coffee hour support group on Wednesday. We're going to have a revision chat on Thursday. And on Friday, we're going to do a writing prompt party. And they're all going to be available on the Facebook page. So if you miss it, they should be there. And if you're on the email newsletter, you should get access to all of them as well. But I just want to give everybody a snapshot because these are things that sort of like started to happen and their value became clear to us almost immediately when we were in Happy Campers Club. But since they were behind sort of closed doors in that private group, I wanted to, at least for 1 week, model for everybody what's going on and invite everybody in to get this opportunity. So from May 25th through May 29th, is that right? We are going to have a kind of mini camp in the Stop Writing Alone group so that you could see what's going on in the Happy Campers Club. If that is something, if you are ready to join for like the whole model, doing all 5 of these things every week for 1 month, but also to give you an opportunity to see how each of these 1-hour meetings could be modeled that you could be doing on your own with your own writing people. I just think there's a lot of opportunity there for everyone to get together and meet some new writers. You can meet somebody next week that could be your writing buddy for life, because I've been sort of discussing it on Facebook and in the community, and there's already people that are like, yeah, I can't wait, I'm going to be there. So that is basically what I wanted to share with you this week. I hope to see you next week. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know I've had such a great time with the community from April, so I'm really looking forward to sharing this experience with a lot of other Stop Writing Alone humans. So until then, if you're looking for a new writing prompt this Friday, there will be one on the NV Rivera YouTube page. Also, if you have not been over to Instagram in a little bit, this past week I started experimenting with the whole Instagram live situation and somehow created ourselves an IGTV channel for Stop Writing Alone, where I was sharing writing prompts and going through some of the Storymatic games. So there's stuff going on over there if you head over to Instagram and follow the @StopWritingAlone. Is it a page, account, whatever it is. But that's pretty much it for now. And I hope you guys have a great week. Hope you're getting some wonderful writing done and giving yourself breaks when you need them. And I will talk to you all very soon. As always, thank you so much for listening.
Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter where I'm at @NV_Rivera to find links to our email newsletter. Happy writing. See you next week.